Hello everybody, it's Claire back with another art journal video. So in this one I'm going to show you how you can make those collage images work for you. So I had this piece of collage face left over and I was kind of looking at it and thinking I can't really do much with this, and then I decided that I could. So I was going to just stick it into my book and kind of, yeah, just make it work. So first of all, I'm adding some white paint onto the page where the image is going to go, just so that I'm not battling with any colour changes to the collage piece before it gets stuck in. And then I'm going to stick it on that side of the page on top of the white paint. It's going to go right there, and I'm going to use a matte medium to stick this in. So obviously, as it is, this square piece of collage paper isn't really going to look right on a journal page. It is, as it is now, it's going to look like a piece of paper that's just been stuck on. It's got all those harsh edges and it just doesn't look very good. So what I decided to do, once I'd stuck it in place and pulled the matte medium over the top as well, just to seal the image, and it was nicely stuck in and dry, I decided that I was going to add some hair, which would then cover over those harsh edges that were left on the image. And this was a way that I was going to make it work. So I kind of sketched it out first, roughly where it was going to go. And I knew that I would need to go in with black because that was the only way I was going to be able to disappear the edges of the image. So it was a bit of a deep breath moment, and I was like, right, I'm just going to do it. So started with quite a dry brush and added in some hair, and you can see already it's starting to disappear, that square edge that was left from where it had been cut out. I wasn't particularly worried about whether the hair was going to look completely right or not, because, you know, there are lots of techniques that you can use to kind of go in and soften edges and all sorts of things. And you're going to see how I achieve that. And the image I end up with, you know, it was a page that was very much inspired by something that had happened that day. So I wasn't particularly worried about whether the face and the hair were going to look amazing. I just wanted to journal this out that had happened, and had this little piece of collage paper left over. So it was a perfect one to use. So now I've got the black down, I'm then going in with a Posca pen and I'm adding in some lines and then just smudging them. What I'm trying to achieve here is a softer look on the hair, just as that first layer. So I'm just kind of playing here, because the thing is, I know that if this doesn't work, I can go back in with the black and paint over the top of it again. It doesn't really matter. So then I decided I would get a thinner brush and go in with black and add some black lines over the top of the white lines. So I'm starting to build up those layers over the hair, just to create that feel of hair that's moving. So I've got all these kind of lines of movement working together. So adding the black lines over the top is pushing those white ones into the background. And then I decided I would add some colour around. So I have started off with Orchid, and I'm just pulling that down a third of the page. And you will notice that in some places, you know, I'm not being particularly careful. I'm kind of painting over the edge of the hair as well. Then I've gone with turquoise, but I haven't washed my brush in between. So I'm pulling that colour down the next third of the page. And then I did wash my brush because I wanted the next turquoise to be just turquoise. And I'm going to add that to the bottom bit of the page. And I did dry my brush as well, just so that the water wasn't going to dilute the paint. And then I don't think I've left this bit on camera, but I did just use my finger and just kind of smudge the places together where the colours meet. Then this is the Pebble Mask stencil from Natalie May scrapbooking, and I'm just using some of the colours that are left over on my palette paper just to pull some colour over the top of there, just to break up that background as an initial layer. And that's nice and dry. And then this is a Take a Chance stencil from Natalie May as well, and I'm just using a little bit of turquoise through there just to add a bit of text onto the background too. And you'll see how easy it is with stencils to create that really layered, lovely look with your backgrounds. Then I've added a little bit of blue colour to the eye. That's a colour I don't often put on the eyes because I've got brown, sort of hazily brown eyes, so I often tend to paint eyes brown, which is really funny, isn't it, that? So I've done some more lines on the hair using a Tombow marker, and then just some white splatters. I mean, look at the difference that that makes, just adding those white splatters. Adding splatters can really be the difference between a page being okay and a page being like, yeah, it's working, it's coming together. So they were nice and dry before I went in and added some stamping using my Shoot for the Stars text stamp, which you can find on my website. This is one of my favourite stamps at the minute. I love the text on this because it's so small and it works so well on a page like this. And then I went in with my writing. So I was just having a play with letters and mixing up capitals and lowercase. And I've left this whole process in for you to see from here onwards, because you can see how, and this sometimes happens, I write a quote on, and I make it a bit bolder on one side, which is the thing that I do next. And then I kind of think, it's missing something. I need to add a white outline. I need to add a drop shadow to the letters. And so I started doing that and then decided I didn't like it. So I'm just kind of left it in so that you can see how sometimes you can get to a point with your journal page where you think, I'm going to try this and see if it works, and it doesn't always work, and that it is fixable. It is fixable. I just added some hearts onto the hair as well. I do like adding hearts onto my journal pages. Yeah, I know lots of us do, and they kind of worked with the quote as well. And then, some white dots. That's another way to make sort of blend those edges. And I'm being lazy here and using a Posca pen on my stamp. This is something I've done before. Rather than getting the white paint out and a blending tool to put the paint onto the stamp, this was just nice and quick. And this just softens those edges where, can you see where the edge of the hair is? I'm just overlapping it with those, just to create that softer feel. Okay, so I think it was around now where, I decided I would outline those letters. I'm adding like a shadow, a drop line shadow onto those words. And as soon as I'd done it, I was thinking, I don't like this. I feel it's actually making the words harder to read. So I got so far with it, I might have even done it all the way to the bottom. I think I maybe did. And I thought, no, I'm going to write back over it in black. And that was what I did. So I gave it a quick dry and then just wrote over at the top of it again using my black Posca pen. In some places you can still see little bits of the white peeping through, but that was okay. I decided I was going to leave it alone once I'd got to that point. Sometimes you can overfaff with things as well. So this video, I've kind of left these little bits in so that you can see how easy it is to make pieces of collage paper work for you, collage images. Looking at that page now, you wouldn't know that started off as a rectangular piece of collage paper. Those edges have disappeared just by painting on the kind of funky hair and adding all those little techniques with the stamping and the dots and things just to soften those edges. It's worked quite nicely. So just have a try, have a play. When you find those scraps of collage paper in your drawers and you think, oh, I can't use that. Yes, you can. Give it a go. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. and I hope to see you all again soon.